Let me intro this gentleman who's been really this helping people get their deals done. A lot of deals getting done. Some in progress right now. Again, if you're late, you snooze, you lose. Welcome to our short-term rental investing introduction by none other than our very own Chinadu Emesibe. From humble beginnings as a law student who started an investing journey in wholesaling, Chinadu took a leap into short-term rentals and completely transformed his path. Today, he operates, I don't even know how many, I'm going to say 20 plus thriving STRs. He become the go-to expert in our community, has helped multiple members to just recently get to their first deals, two at a time, by the way, proving that focus, discipline, and belief can change everything in your world. Welcome in, my guy, Chinadu. Come on out, brother.
Nice, nice, nice. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us this Thursday. We're going to be going over short-term rentals. It's going to be a very, very brief introduction. I definitely want you guys to be engaged. Ask questions as they come to mind. If I'm going too fast, tell me slow down. But let's get into it. I don't want to take up too much of your evening. Nice. So yeah, like Ron said, my name is Chinadu Emasibe, and man, this is my beginning, right? I was working at Starbucks for a few years, way longer than I should have, right? I had tried college, graduated college. I really thought I was going to be a lawyer. I really thought I was going to be a lawyer. And I even tried working like, different kind of side gig jobs. Like this is me on the right side doing a job being a butler, so I already knew through all these phases of my life that, man, there has to be more. I'm fresh out of college, got tons of college debt, don't really know what direction I'm going, and I know there has to be more. So luckily, I got connected with this group right here and I got into the real estate game and they definitely helped me out. And then, like Ron said, I tried out different strategies. I tried wholesaling, I tried buy and hold until I found this strategy right here, short-term rental that has completely changed my life, my family's life, and just the way I see investing as a whole. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. So I'm going to tell you guys about my first deal. I'm just going to get right into it. So this is my first deal, so just like maybe a lot of people on this line, I knew that short-term rental was a thing. I knew that there was a lot of information on YouTube and Instagram, and I thought that that's all I needed. So I watched tons and tons of videos on YouTube and Instagram, just putting the pieces together, little by little, putting the pieces together. And I thought that I was, I've learned enough. I've graduated YouTube University, and now I can go into the world and apply what I learned, right? So went all over Facebook. I was marketing for my first short-term rental deal, and I found my first deal in a great location, which I thought was a great location in Miami, March 2023. I heard so many no's that I just took the first yes. I was so excited. So this is my unit right here. It was a duplex, two bedroom, one bath on each side. The rent for each unit was 3,300, altogether 6,600. And it cost me 22,000, which I did not have. Broke college student, young 20-year-old. I had borrowed money from a private lender just to get this deal done. And this is just a property tour I was showcasing that deal with the community. And this is, still my first deal. So, like I said, I was winging it. I was dabbling in information, and man, I learned quickly that just having information is not enough. Literally, just having the information is not enough. So this is me, first 7 months from March 2023 to October 23, only making $37,000. And like I said, my rent was 6,600 a month. So I should have made 46,200, but I was short $9,000 on rent, not to include my cleaning costs, I had to pay out of pocket, my utilities, the maintenance, insurance. Like it was crazy, man. This was like, at a 20-year-old, I always hear about rock bottom, but I think this might have been it. I was living in my wife right now. She was my fiance at the time, grandma's basement. Just had a newborn, and I had no job, no income. All the money I had saved up, I took it to, keep whatever mission I thought alive with this deal right here. I had some stocks, I had sold my stocks just to be afloat. And man, it was tough. it was really, really tough. I really learned that information is not just enough. You can get information anywhere, but you can't get guidance. You can't get people to speak to and just mastermind with and just have that human connection where you can speak, talk to somebody, get a couple ideas going. So this is, after really losing money for 7 months, something changed. Three things changed. One, I stopped playing victim. I stopped being depressed. I stopped blaming my wife for not helping me. I stopped blaming my cleaners for overcharging me. I stopped blaming the marketplace. I just stopped playing victim and said, you know what? It's time for a change. So that was the first thing that changed. The second thing that changed was I stopped seeking free information and free help. I would go to these Facebook groups trying to get some help, and people would help me every now and then, but they would respond and stop responding. They didn't owe me anything, right? They were just a stranger giving me their 2 cents and then they go about their business. So I stopped looking for free help. I stopped looking for free information, and whatever courage I had left, I gathered up $20,000. My mom helped me out a lot. Shout out to my mom for making this happen for me. And I got a mentorship program where I learned how to do this business the right way, how to set up my systems, how to find profitable locations, just literally just how to take off and kill it. And the third thing that changes, I stopped looking to do it alone. I connected with people already winning in this business so I can see what they're doing. I can see what they're paying for something. I can see, what a good deal looks like, what a bad deal looks like. I can get a second opinion on my own deals, and that was the super game changer. And that's what I'm going to introduce to you guys today because that change went for me in 2023 losing, oh my goodness, losing $30,000 to this change that you see right here, and this is the change for me getting mentorship, me stop looking for free help, free information, stop playing victim. And this has just been the growth, from 2024 to 2025 to current 2026 right here. So I want you guys to take a screenshot of this right here because it's possible. I'm just a regular guy from Queens, New York. I probably walked the same path of all of you right here. Single parent, grew up in a, low middle class, went to college, got student debt, the whole story that we all grow up on that we see all over ourselves, So take a screenshot right here because this can be you. Literally, this can be you and it should be you. Put a W in the chat if you think this should be you right here. Let me see some love right now. Put a W in the chat if this is you right here. Starbucks wasn't paying me this. My Berkeley College wasn't paying me this. Working that butler job wasn't paying me this. The butler job made me cut my beard. I was willing to sacrifice my morals for chump change. So let's keep rolling. Take a screenshot of like this, just a reminder that this can be my situation right here. You're no different from me. We bleed the same blood. I'm a regular person. Nice. So here's my goal. And here is not only is it a goal, it's actually happening. So it's not even a goal. Like these are just my targets right now, man. I want to help you add an extra zero to your income. So, like I said, I want to make this interactive, but I also want to be nice and brief and give you back your evening. If you're not scared, right? Right? Put how much money you make in the chat a year and then add an extra zero. Let's do that. Let's see some big numbers in the chat because my goal is to help you add an extra zero to your income. So if you're making 20,000 a year, put 200,000 in the chat. I want to help you add an extra zero to your income. When I was working at Starbucks, I was making $34,000 a year. Man, and that was great for me as a young 20-year-old. I thought it was nice. I had got cash tips, I got free food. It was amazing. Cool. Okay, Kiera, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna give you my energy. I'm gonna help you add an extra zero to your income. So cool. So I told you my start. I show you what I'm doing right now, but it's only helpful if I do it and help other people do it too. So these are for my people right here who wants to get into this business, wants to make money in this business, but they really don't have no time or they don't have the desire to handle, all the operations of this. So these are some of my club members who are operational right now and I just manage for them. They have other people manage for them. So this first screenshot, this is just someone I manage for. He has a job, he loves his job. He doesn't want to quit his job, but he also wants to make some passive income. So this is a great strategy for him to just make some passive income. So I'm just asking, like, hey, how much did you put in and how much have you made so far? So he said he invested $25,000. So far, he's made 16,800 in cash flow, just profit, not gross income, but profit. So just in 8 months, he got 67% of his money back. Way better than long-term rentals. He said it, not me. And in the middle, this is just me showing somebody, here's their numbers for March. He said, awesome month, got the Zelle. Thanks, man. Imagine you don't got to do nothing all month but collect the check, real boss style. Who likes that setup? You just want to sit back and collect the check, real boss style. Where's my bosses at? Nice, yeah, it's nice to just collect the check and not do nothing. That's what we all strive for. And last screenshot, just me sending another person who loves their job, doesn't want to quit their job. They have a career, they went to school for it, they can't even imagine quitting. They just want to collect the check every month. I want to read a report and collect the check. And in this month, he made $4,300 in profit on 2 units. That's a lot of money, bro. That's more than I was making a month in Starbucks. So these are for my people who want to do this business, but you don't really have the time to. You have more money than time. You have more money than knowledge. So there's a place for everybody in this business. Now, these are for my people who wants to be hands-on. Put a W in the chat if you don't mind getting your hands dirty. Let me see who I'm speaking to right now. Who doesn't mind getting their hands dirty? Who says, I'm willing to learn this. I'm willing to do the business. I'm willing to, really get out there and make the money. These are for my people who don't mind getting their hands dirty. I'm going to show you three people who got their hands dirty and what came out of it. This is my guy, Sam. Sam did his first deal around this time last year, maybe. Sam's a full-time teacher, full-time dad. Sam is in his 40s, so I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh, I'm a young dude, I can't do this business." Sam is in his 40s. He just looks really good for his age, right? And this is his first deal. So now he has two deals. If you see right here on the right side, he has one house right here, second house right here, and they're operational. But what's even cool about this is Sam really embraced everything I taught him, really embraced everything I said to him. We have a house right across the street from each other in the same city. And I thought I was flexing on Sam. This is my message with Sam. I'm like, hey, I made 6,300 this month. And Sam comes back and says, I made $7,700 this month. Amazing. As a teacher, I think teachers are so underpaid. So, Sam's story really hits me to heart. That's like a public service right there. So shout out to all my teachers. This can be you if you're willing to get your hands dirty and embrace this information and make a decision today. Let's keep rolling. I don't want to leave my ladies out. Ladies, this is for you. This is also Lorraine and her two daughters. Lorraine has been working corporate America job for about 20 years for Verizon. She loves her job, but she feels like she's been there for way too long, right? She's been there for way too long, and she was willing to say, you know what? I'm at a point in my life where I'm fed up and I need something different. Lorraine is also another person who wanted to get her hands dirty. She embraced the hell out of the information, and boom. On her first deal, she got two deals. Who wants to do two deals on their first deal? I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but who wants to do two deals on their first deal? Who wants to go from I have zero deals to overnight, now I have two deals making me money every single month? Nice. I see you, Jessica. I see you, Ann Wade. I see you, Cindy. It's for my ladies right here. Real estate is a real male dominant sport. So I would love to get more ladies into this industry because why not? You ladies have a lot to offer. Um, yeah, you ladies have so much to offer. And last but not least, here's another example. My guy Basit, I actually wish he was here right now, but he is. I think Basit's like 24, either 20, he's between 23 and 25, and he's someone who's been trying to figure it out on his own for the past 3 years since I've known him. I like him a lot because we share the same story. YouTube University, parents forced us to go to college, didn't really know what we wanted to do, but we knew that there was more to life. Who feels like I'm on this path right now, but there should be more to life. This can't be why God put me on earth. Who feels like that? Put a W in the chat if you feel like you have energy to do more in your life. But this was Basit. Basit also someone who embraced the information. He was willing to take the risk and bet on himself. bet on himself and bet on me to guide him there. So he went from zero deals to now he has two short-term rental deals in the market he's never been to, never seen these units in operational running without his daily input, just with simple systems and simple steps that everybody on this line can repeat. So my people say they want to get their hands dirty. I hold you accountable to that, and I will definitely hold your hand and hold you accountable to that. So this is your start, right? This is just the truth of it, right? So 20% of people on this call is going to take action. I will see you and I will help you get to the promised land if you are willing, to meet me where I'm at with my energy. 15% of the 20%, they're going to call me. They're going to text me weekly. Over time, they're going to get discouraged. They're going to stop doing the work. And for whatever reason, they're going to fall off. We're always here. Stick to the mission. Literally, remember why you're starting. 4% of the 20% is going to get started, do a deal, and seek not how to get better. This was me in Miami. Don't be me in Miami, man. It took me 7 months to realize, yo, how about you just get some better information? How about you just connect with people who are successful? It took me 7 months to learn my lesson. Don't be me in Miami. 1% of the 20% is going to push their business so far, they're going to question why they didn't start earlier. You should be that person. You should be the 1%. But 100% of people on this call are more than capable of making money in this business and changing their lives and having more time with their family and firing their boss. Like who wants to fire their damn boss? Like literally, who wants to go to work one day and just say, you know what? I'm out of here. You do it. And then you just leave because you got money coming in every month. Like that would be so freaking amazing. And I want that for all of you guys. So 100% of people on this call are more than capable of doing that. So just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep sticking with our group, keep yourself around the information. So I'm gonna briefly show you guys what short-term rental is. Who here knows what short-term rental is, but doesn't really know what it is? Let's be honest, the more honest you are, the more help you will get. Who here knows about this business, but they don't really know how it works? Okay, Karen, am I only speaking to Karen tonight? What's going on, Karen? Hope you had a great Thursday today. Okay, Karen, me and you. It's only me and you on the line right now. I got you. Don't worry, Karen. I'm going to make sure you understand. So, I'm going to show you what a long-term rental is, and then we're going to compare it to a short-term rental. Is that okay, Karen? Nice. She said hi. Hi means okay. Cool. So here's an example of a long-term rental. I'm pretty sure we all know what a long-term rental is. It's just when you buy a piece of property and you put a tenant in there and the tenant pays you every month. So here's an example of the numbers. I think numbers are the best way to show how things work because numbers don't lie, numbers don't change, right? So here's a house right here on the left that me and my partner own. We bought it for 103,000. Our down payment was $25,000. Whenever our tenant pays our rent, it's crazy out here in the rental market. Whenever the tenant pays our rent, she pays $1,400 a month. Our mortgage always has to get paid $712 a month. We put money to the side for maintenance and vacancy, and we also pay our property manager $140 a month. So I know there's somebody on the line doing the math right now. That is good, right? This equals to $408. If my math is wrong, correct me in the chat. So yeah, I mean, $408 is not bad. Who would take a check for $408 every month? Just put a W in the chat if you like. I can take $408 a month. Yeah, 400 is cool. That pays my car insurance. It can pay my car note. It can buy groceries. $400 is a good amount of money, depending on your lifestyle, right? That could be your kid's allowance. $400 is cool. So our payback time, we put in $25,000 of our own money, and if we receive the $408 in cash flow profit every month, it'll take us about 5 years to get our money back. It's not bad. Average investment comes back in 3 to 5 years because on standard, beats inflation, is better than what Chase is giving now. I think my Chase bank account is giving now 0.01% right now. So here's an example of a short-term rental. My favorite. This is the reason why you guys are here. So this is rental arbitrage. We don't own this house. We rent this house. No commitment, low startup costs. We love it. So our purchase price was zero. Our down payment was zero. Our startup costs like furniture and furniture builders, $21,000. Our revenue, right? We go from rent to revenue. Our revenue is $6,090 down to the penny. Our rent on this house is $2,400. We have maintenance for 90 a month. We have utilities and Wi-Fi for 450. We have inventory and software for 200, and our cleaning bill is about $1,000. So our net cash flow ends up being $1,950.65. Fact check my math, but who here, I mean, I don't know if I got to ask, but who here would rather take $1,900 a month home in cash flow? Yeah, that's three car notes. That's three insurance bills. Yeah, so $21,000, if divided by what we're making a month, that's like a 10-month payback. It's pretty nice. It's amazing actually. This is super fantastic. And this is the power of short-term rentals and why I believe, everybody on this line plus more should be indulging in this strategy because the traditional ways we were taught to make money just don't work no more. It just doesn't work no more. Average rent in New York City where I live is like $5,000. I need a couple of these $400 houses just to make rent, which is not cool. So let's keep going. And here's just some examples. Here's what's possible with short-term rentals. My landlord can't raise my rent every month, but on these short-term rentals, you can make like it's kind of endless. So here's one house in June that made $17,000. Here's another house in July that made $11,000. And then, it just goes on and on. So this is the power of short-term rentals. And this is why, you guys are here to see the magnitude. This is like maybe five of my paychecks at Starbucks in one full month, So here's just the power of short-term rentals. And here's one of the best parts about doing rental arbitrage. If you guys notice in this example I gave earlier, my biggest expense here is my rent, $2,400. And there's companies who want to give you free rent just to sign a lease. This person's giving out 2 months free rent. This one's giving out 2 months free rent, another 2 months free rent. Now imagine how fast you can make your money back if your biggest expense is cut for 2 months. Amazing strategy. Who here owns a house and ever had their bank tell them, hey, don't pay us the mortgage payment for 2 months? Who here has ever got that message before? Don't pay us for 2 months. Don't pay your mortgage for 2 months. Who here has got that before? Yeah, it's just not possible. I'm not knocking long-term rentals, but it's just not possible. Cool. So let me show you how it starts. These are the first four of many steps. So we're going to talk about step one, which is market research. That's deciding on what market to use. Step two, learning your regulations. Step three, marketing and running your numbers. Step four, negotiating and finding money. A lot of people here may not have the money to do the deal, but that still shouldn't stop you. I definitely go over ways on how to find the money when you don't have it. So this is the number one question I always get about this strategy. Where is the best market? Where is the most profitable market? Who here is curious about that? Where is the best market for me to set up my short-term rental Airbnb? Who's wondering that right now? Yeah, it's a very good question. It's a very good question. You wanna not be me in Miami. You want to find the best markets, the best pockets that make the best money. So it's a valid question. So here is my 6-step criteria for entering before I enter a market. I'm going to go over my favorite two. My favorite two is I never want to enter a market if it has more than 4,000 listings. I want to be able to go to that market and dominate. I don't want to have to fight different listings and be fighting over price, because if there's so many options, you got to lower your price just to stand out. But I want to go somewhere where I can just dominate. I want to fight for value and not price. And my second thing is I want the market score I'm entering to be 75 or better. If it's under 75, might not take a look at it, but these are my favorite two criterias that I use before entering a market right here for those reasons. And then regulations, regulations are so key. They suck sometimes because you got to go through all this paperwork and you got to make sure you're in the right zone. But it's cool because it weeds out the amateurs. It keeps markets safe and regulated so they're not getting overpopulated. And it kind of keeps us to have a certain guideline so we can operate at the highest level, which is also weeding out the amateurs and people that's going to ruin this business. So definitely before you enter a market, you want to look at your regulations. You do not want to be in a place where, you're going to get fined nonstop because you're not in an area where you're zoned correctly for this business model. I have a whole section about this where I go deeper into this and what questions to ask the city so you're compliant at all times. So here's your next steps. We're getting to the end right now. Like I said, I wanted to make this brief. I don't want to take up too much of your evening. We also have a club call coming up at 8, so I want to make sure I'm highly prepared for that so I can speak to my short-term rental club members. So here's your next step. Like I said, the club starts at 8. This is our STR Nation weekly calls, and this is how you learn how to find deals, how to analyze deals. If you already have a short-term rental, how to grow your business literally month by month, how to get access to club members who are doing deals, who are talking about deals every single Thursday at 8 p.m., how to get coached by me, how to just join the club and start doing deals so you can start doing deals where they're making $17,000 a month, 11,000 a month, and really change your whole family's life, right? Like my wife just quit her job 2 weeks ago, and that was big, it was really big. That's something that we only dream about. So it's so cool, So just get into this business. It's only $115 a month. So you can find a way to not only retire yourself, but retire, maybe your mom, retire your dad, retire your spouse, and have more time with your family to do things that actually matter in life instead of commuting an hour to work and back and having hour lunch breaks after working a 10-hour shift. So $115 a month just to join our short-term rental club and learn how to do this business, how to get coached by people actively in the game, right? But most importantly, just connecting with people so you can see, how to walk that right path. So if you want to join us tonight, it's 7:43 right now. We're going to kick off at 8 in about 15 minutes. I like to start on time and I like to get right into it. So I would definitely get back with whoever invited you and ask them, hey, I want the link to this. I want to be able to get on short-term rental calls so I can start my journey on how to fire my boss, how to have more time, how to even start traveling and doing, living life on my own terms. Who was I speaking to earlier? Where you're at. Karen, are you still hearing me, Karen? I'm here. Nice, Karen. So, Karen, I know you said you understood the business, but you really didn't understand all the moving parts and how it works. I know I didn't go over too much, but did you get a good understanding or do you need more? I want to make sure you get what you're looking for plus more. Data wise, yes. Okay. Is it something you feel like you're missing? I do need a little more. Karen, who brought you here tonight? How did you get here? Or are you here by accident, Jason? Yeah, I would literally just text Jason, be like, Jason, I need a little more information. I see the value of this strategy. I want to get my hands dirty. If there's people, like Lorraine and Sam and Basit who can do it, someone like me who can do it, I mean, why not you? We all come from the same path, one way and another. So we are kicking off tonight at 8, $115 a month. I do 4 calls every month, Thursday, 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. every single week. We don't miss a Thursday. I think we've been on for like 8 months straight, and we already got 6 deals in motion, and we got club members who's going to bring a deal tonight that's in motion right now. So you can see a real deal going live, real numbers, real conversation. And, if they're still looking for partners, you can probably even join in on their deal. It's a lot of money in this space to go around. We can't all do deals by ourselves. Nice. Okay, cool. I'm going to stop right here. I'll take maybe about 3 questions. If anybody has questions, I want to make sure I answer your questions and then we'll get out of here. Or if not, I will just prepare for our club call at 8. Definitely get back with the person that invited you and say, hey, I want to see more information about what this STR Nation weekly call is about.
Hi, I have a question. It's Karen.
Hey,
Hey,
Karen.
Karen. Hi. Um, Now the 8 p.m. Call, you have to pay first before you enter it, or is there any way that we could sit in just to watch and see how it goes and then decide?
Okay, so yes, to answer your question, yes, I give everybody a one-time guest access just to see more about it, right? We have nothing to hide. We want more people in it. Like for everyone, all of my club members here tonight, we want more people in it because we can't take down all the deals by ourselves. Sometimes we need an extra head. Maybe sometimes there's people there that have money but don't really want to do the deal, right? So yeah, you can come sit in, see what we're about. But there is an investment, $115 a month. It's not that much. Great question, Karen. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
time is at 7:46. Yeah, great question. Yeah, everyone here, if you're not in the club already, you definitely get a one-time complimentary guest pass. So I would definitely use it, especially tonight. Tonight's gonna be real, real spicy because we're actively working on 11 units right now that my club members are using. And I think it's gonna be, there's no way to learn more than just seeing the deal live. Cool. Okay, if there's no more questions, I'll definitely give you back your evening. I want to get ready for our club calls. My team members, I will see you there later. Come with your questions, come with your deals, come with your challenges so I can help you get past it. And I hope to see all of you guys tonight and call you team members. Awesome.